Greetings, greetings, family. How y'all doing today? I hope everyone is well, staying safe, staying at, staying safe for this coronavirus. Shit, this coronavirus. Woo! And now they got a second strand of it. And anyway, I'll wait a couple of seconds, give a couple more people an opportunity to come on in here if they're gonna come. We're not going to wait too long because Exodus Radio starts immediately at 4 o'clock, which is 1 hour after I finish this. So I want to tell y'all about what I experienced over the last couple of days. Just a couple minutes. Everybody come on in. Give a couple people just a couple minutes for a couple more people to come on in. Because I know if I start telling the story, people gonna come in late and start asking questions in the chat, which I will have already discussed. So I'll just wait a couple more seconds. I hope everybody is doing okay. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because it's the lawyer military thing still is in me to start things on time when I say. So, all right, this video is going to be about my recent encounter with Ghana Hospital, Ghana Medical Services. I'm gonna start back, okay, a couple weeks. Recently, I think y'all, those of you who watch Exodus Radio probably already saw where I talked about the fact that I tripped and fell and had a deep gash on my shin, and it was a cut down to the bone. Like the doctor said, he could see my bone right on my shin. And I was with some of my husband's people, so they took me to the hospital. We were in an area called Awoshi, which is in Accra, but it's an area called Awoshi, right? So we went to the hospital. Hey, Nana Kwame. Hey, Nana Kwame. We went to a hospital in Awoshi, and I, went into the emergency. They took me right in, and I got stitched up. Now, the stitches came out great. I just recently on Saturday had the stitches removed, and it looks like I'm probably not going to have much of a scar. The doctor did an excellent job at this small little hospital. Hey, Angie, Africa, how you doing, sis? And but one thing about that experience that I did take note of was, you know how when the doctor is doing a surgery or procedure and they have the big hospital light, the big light that's shining on where the doctor needs to do the work? They didn't have that. It was literally people holding their cell phone lights on my wound, like their cell phone, the light, turn the light on, and that's the light that he used to stitch me up. And that wasn't cool. I was like, like that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? But I can imagine for somebody like a real surgery, I can imagine how, something serious, more serious than what I had. And what I had was pretty serious. Like I said, it was down to the damn bone. Okay. I showed some people, I took pictures of my leg and I showed it to a couple people and they couldn't even look at it. It was pretty gross, right? Thanks, Angie. And oh yeah, I always forget to say these things. Listen, I'm not like a YouTuber, really. I'm not a YouTuber. It's not my thing. I come on here to say what I have to say to y'all, and then I keep it pushing. Right? I'm not. I don't consider myself a YouTube personality person. Um, I just come on here to deliver a specific message, and then I'm off trying to do some work, trying to do something for the people or for my businesses. But thank you, Angie. She reminded me, y'all, please click the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program YouTube channel, please do that. Okay, so yes, they literally was using their cell phone lights for the doctor to see to stitch up my leg. He did a great job, but that's what they were using. So fast forward to a few days ago. So we have a brother from, and I'm not going to call his name out. I told him I was going to tell the story, but I wasn't going to tell his name, and because of privacy. But he said I could, but I won't. If he wants to come onto the thread and tell y'all it was him, that's fine. But that's not my job to tell anybody's business. Yes, I am. Cedar King. I'm on WhatsApp still. Okay, so the brother came from Portland, Oregon, repatriating. He came here to stay, to live. So he wasn't just visiting. Came from Portland, Oregon, and y'all already know over there on that side, Washington State, Portland. It's dreary. It's clouded. It's always just not sunny. It's a very depressing place, right? And then when the COVID came and the lockdown and everybody's sitting in their house, so for a fact people are not getting vitamin D. They probably weren't getting it before COVID, but they're not getting it now. So this brother, those are the conditions he was living under in Portland, and in the house every day and everything. So I already know, he's vitamin D deficient. I don't have to do a test to know that he's vitamin D deficient. Black people need sun, right? So he traveled from Portland, came, and his flight had a layover in London, where the second strand is, right? The flight came in late to London, and they had to stay over. They put them in a hotel in London. He gets back up in the morning to go back to the airport to come on the last leg to Ghana, and he's on the flight next to some white woman who is sick as a dog. Keeps removing her mask. She's coughing. She can't breathe. Now she came into Ghana. I know she had to take a COVID test when she got here, but this is the person that he was sitting on. He wasn't sick before, and he was sitting next to this lady who's throwing up and coughing and can't breathe and keep removing her mask so she can breathe, and that's who he ended up on the plane next to. He arrives here. He has a fiance. She's not Ghanaian. She's Nigerian. She's been living here, but she's never had to go to the hospital. She's not familiar with anything related to the hospital, right? So he gets here. Day 1 is fine. Day 2 is fine. He's resting, recuperating, because he's had a really, really, really long flight from the other side of the United States to the UK to Ghana. So he hasn't gone outside really, because he's trying to, rest and get himself ready to enjoy Ghana. Well, about the third day, he starts getting sick. And it just keeps going downhill. Now, they live in an area, not in my area, but he was in a crowd, but in another area. So I'm talking to the girlfriend, and I'm telling her things to do. Every day I'm telling her, make him eat pineapple, because I already suspect it was COVID, right? And I'm telling her, make him eat pineapples. She's saying he don't want to eat. He doesn't have any appetite. I'm like, it doesn't matter if he wants to eat it. Make him eat it, because pineapple has something in it that will get rid of inflammation in the lungs. So he needs to be eating pineapple. I told her to save the skin from the pineapple and boil it in a tea. Make him eat oranges, and that skin from the oranges, boil all of that in a tea make him drink it. So she's trying to do those things, but he's getting more and more lethargic as the days go on. So then they thought it was malaria. They just thought it was malaria. She started getting sick. Now she starts getting sick. Chills, coughing. I can hear the phlegm, mucus in her, but she can talk to me more than he can, right? So I'm telling them things to do. One day she tell me they're getting better, that they're getting better. And I said, okay. Then when I talked to her again the following evening, she said she had to take him to the hospital. Now this is about the fourth day after he's here, fifth day that he's been here, that he's in the hospital. I'm like, what? In the hospital? So she tells me that they say he has malaria. And I asked her, what hospital is it? But I'm still not convinced that it's malaria, right? She told me what hospital it was in. Now this on Saturday, I said, okay, so this must have been, I think Friday, this past Friday. She told me where he was early in the day. Because mind you, I'm talking to them all day. So some of my days are mixed up. I'm talking to her several times a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night, just checking, make sure what's going on, getting updates and stuff. So on Friday night, she tells me that she had to take him to the hospital. And I'm a little taken aback because I just spoke to her before and she said he was getting better. So now I'm concerned. I'm really concerned. And I said, okay, I have to go in the morning to get my stitches removed from my leg. But once I have that done, I'm coming to the hospital, right? So I get up, this is Saturday morning, this past Saturday. I go get my stitches out. And then I go to the hospital that she tells me that they're in. And when I get up there, and I don't like anything about what I see. I don't like anything about this. Okay, sorry guys. I think there was a little something going on with the Wi-Fi. But anyway, so I go to the hospital and I don't like the way this thing is looking. I don't like the hospital. I don't like the way it looked. I don't like nothing, right? So I go in there, I talk to him. He's telling me that these people, really, they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. They said he tested positive for malaria, but they didn't test him for COVID. They didn't run any other tests for anything. They couldn't do an x-ray on his chest because he was literally couldn't breathe. His oxygen was at that point down to 80 something percent. He couldn't even if he laid down, he couldn't breathe anyway. But then when he lay down, that made it worse. So sitting up, he felt better. Um, he had this horrible cough. They had him in a room that didn't have any ventilation. The bathroom in the room didn't have any running water. It was just, and I'm like, okay, why didn't they do the X-ray of his chest? Clearly, there's something going on in here. Although their machine doesn't work. I was like, what? What? Anybody call themselves a hospital? You know what I'm saying? And then anyway, long story short, after about 30 minutes of me up in there, I told the girlfriend to get his shit and go let them know that we're leaving. I'm taking him somewhere else. He can't stay here, right? We have to take him somewhere else. So call an Uber, come pick us up. Takes a while. He every couple steps he has to stop because breathing was really labored for him. Like it took everything out of him just to take a couple steps. So we had to really, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I was really, really worried, but I put on my strong face because I didn't want him to know I was worried, but I was worried, I ain't gonna lie. So we get him in the Uber, and I said, okay, let me take him to 37. 37 is a military hospital here in Ghana. It's a government hospital. It's the Ghana's military hospital, right? So I'm saying I'm gonna take him to 37, right? Guys, that was the worst decision I ever made in my life. I'm traumatized by the experience. He's traumatized by the experience. The girlfriend's traumatized. Let me tell y'all what happened. First of all, we pull up. I have to go find a damn wheelchair. I have to go find a wheelchair in the hospital just to get him because he can't walk. He really, literally can't walk at that point. I asking these people, where is the medical emergency? They point me to this area. This nurse, she points me. It's like nobody moves. They see this man is in distress, but they don't move. So I have to get him to the emergency. What they call the emergency section was the worst shit I ever seen in my life. Okay? I'm telling y'all this because I don't want, people say we always painting these pictures like everything is great in Africa, everything is great, everything is great. I want to be very honest with you because I want you all, when you come here, to think about this because I've never been sick. Other than this recent time where I hurt my leg and I had to go get stitches, in the whole 10 years that I've been coming to Ghana, the years that I stayed here, I've never been sick. Neither have my children. We never had to go to the hospital for anything. Never even had to go to the doctor's office. Been to the eye doctor for eye examination. Been to the dentist to get our teeth cleaned. But we haven't had any medical issues. So this was just an area that I see that I was lacking in, and now I'm glad that I had this experience so that I can prepare myself and prepare others. Okay. So let me tell y'all something. This what they call the emergency section at 37. Don't go to 37 hospital. When you come to Ghana, do not go to 37 hospital. Okay. I'm telling you right now. We went to 37. It was so many people outside. Like there was no inside area. Everybody's outside under this thing, this canopy type thing. Ain't no sense of privacy, nothing. One lady who's a Lebanese lady, she was a very obese Lebanese lady, was in distress. Like she could not breathe. They were trying to give her oxygen. This is the scene we rolled up on, right? Outside under a canopy. And the lady was breathing like this. Like every couple, and she was laid out, and she was like, and she couldn't catch her breath. And everybody else that was there was having problem breathing, right? All the other people were on oxygen. Everybody. Now, the thing I noticed that other than that Lebanese lady and the repat that I brought there, everybody else looked like they probably were Ghanaian, but they were all elderly. And they were all struggling to breathe. I didn't see any young people there. The Lebanese lady looked like she was probably in her 40s. So I don't know if she recently arrived, but I know the brother recently arrived. But everybody else that was there was like, couldn't breathe. Shit was like a horror scene. That's when I was like, this COVID shit is fucking real. You know what I'm saying? It's real. I don't know. I didn't ask for nobody's medical charts, but I just thought it was very, very, very telling that everybody there was having problem breathing. They didn't have anybody separated. So my assumption was all these people have COVID, and they just have everybody here together. Even if you don't have COVID, you around a whole bunch of people that probably got COVID. You know what I'm saying? We all had our mask on, but still, right? Why this lady stop breathing? Stop breathing. We all sitting here looking at her. Then they struggling, trying to get her out of the wheelchair because she's sitting in a wheelchair. Ghanaians are generally petite, small people. They can't lift this woman. Then they start hollering for family member to come help them get her out the chair. This Lebanese man ran over there. They put her down on the goddamn floor outside and start doing chest compressions in front of everybody. I said, nope, we're not gonna stay here. So I got him and wheeled him out of here. I was like, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, no. We can't stay here. Call the Uber, wheeled him back out. Call the Uber. We gotta go somewhere else. So I took him to another hospital called St. John's. Now we're on the third hospital, guys. St. John's. St. John's is a private hospital. It's not ran by the government. Went to St. John's. They came out, checked his oxygen, and said his oxygen was too low. They didn't have the equipment that we had to take him. The lady said 37. I said, oh, we're not going to 37. I said, we just left there. Ain't no way in the world I'm taking him back over there. So they were like, well, you can take him to Corlette Blue or you can take him to Ridge. So now at this point, I'm so like, man, and this brother can't breathe, guys. This brother is shit was tripping me out. So I called my husband. I started calling everybody. I'm like, where do I take him? Where do I take him? So people said, take him to Ridge. Take him to Ridge. That's another government hospital in downtown Accra. Okay. I was like, Lord, okay, okay, let's go to Ridge. So now we're on our fourth hospital. Get to Ridge. I got to tell y'all, when I first walked in there, I mean, from the outside, I was like, okay, this is a hospital, from the outside. And then when I walked in the ER, I didn't like what I didn't like. And when I think about, because, I'm used to American hospitals. What I didn't like was they don't have people's beds cordoned off. I was in the military. So in the military, if you've been in the military, like in boot camp, in basic training, you're in a big open bay area with a lot of beds, right? Everybody's there, except they're bunk beds, but it's open. And that's how they had the emergency room. And I'm like, they don't have like the little, the little white curtain thing to block people's thing out so you can have any sense of privacy. They don't have. And I didn't like that. But at this point, they did start working on his ass immediately. So for me, I was like, okay, we finna get something. They ran a battery of tests. They did, I didn't like the open bay situation, the open where everybody's seeing what's going on. But they did start working on him. And, the long story short is they doing a good damn job because the brother's oxygen is at 100% now. He can breathe. He can, his appetite came back. He eat. I mean, I'm telling y'all, this was Saturday. Monday morning, it was Saturday evening when I got him to Ridge. Monday morning, and I left Saturday night. Sunday, I didn't make it over there Sunday, but I was on the phone with the girlfriend all throughout the day checking. Monday morning, she called me, which was yesterday, and said, I got good news. His oxygen is at 100%. He's breathing. He's got his appetite. He actually asked for food because for days we couldn't get him to eat nothing. He wouldn't eat. I was basically trying to force him to, drink juice and everything. So that was some crazy shit. But I'm going to give Ridge their props. They did something because that brother is okay now. I looked. They still have him. They have not put him in a room. They did do the X-ray test. They saw that he had pneumonia in there. And then they put him on some antibiotics for pneumonia. I didn't know what it was. I saw IV and I saw the medicine. Now, this is some of the things I want to tell y'all. The medicine, I had to look it up. And I think it comes from Asia somewhere. But that shit, whatever they're giving him, it works because from Sunday evening, when I got him there and got him checked in, got him registered, up until Monday morning, he was fine. They did do a COVID test, and I have to find out what the results of that is. So I will let you know. I said, it's asked me, does he have COVID? They did do the COVID test. Now, this is what I want to tell y'all about how things are different. This is how things are different. There's another brother that I had to take to another hospital. He's from Missouri. He's here at the guest house. He got sick. He didn't get sick. So he's been here for a while. And then he left the guest house and went to Volta region and Aburi, and came back here to the guest house after he had been gone for about 7 days. He came back sick, came in the gate sick. He said, it's malaria. I didn't, at that time, I assumed he knew what he was talking about, and I assumed he had a test. So I started giving him neem, some stuff that I got from my herbalist. Started giving him neem tea, telling him what to do. We trying to get him over. And then he had the malaria medicine that he was taking. But days are going by. He's not getting any better. So I got him in the house sick, and then I got the brother at the hospital that I'm trying to. So I was thinking that he would get better if it was malaria. He was taking malaria medicine, and plus I was giving him the neem tea and stuff like that. And then he didn't have no appetite either. So I was trying to force him to eat something. So then I asked him specifically, so I took him to the hospital yesterday. So I asked him, it must have been, yesterday was Monday. So it must have been Sunday. I asked him specifically, I said, did you take a malaria test? Because I don't understand why you're taking malaria medicine and you're not getting any better. And he said, well, I didn't take the test. Somebody told me that's what the symptoms are. I said, what? Oh, shit. So I said, no, We have to literally go find out you got to get tested. We got to find out what's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So that we know if you might be taking malaria medicine and you don't have malaria. Okay. So we got up yesterday morning and I went with him to Lister Hospital, which is a private hospital in Airport Hills. Now that looked like a hospital. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to talk about the differences in the hospital and what I don't like and what I see. Okay. If you're familiar with Ghana, Airport Hills is a very upscale, wealthy part of Accra. Okay. Airport. It's called Airport Residential. And it was a clear, stark difference in the quality and everything. So the reason why I ended up taking him to Lister was because after I took the other brother to Ridge, and I was talking to one of my sorority sisters, and she was asking me where did I end up taking us. I took him to Ridge. She was like, why are you taking me to Ridge? And I was like, well, I don't know. I took him where people told me to take him. So she was like, no, you should have took him to Lister. That's over in Airport. It's a private hospital. So, but by this time he was already in Ridge. So I said, well, okay, let's see how everything goes in Ridge. And if it's not, if it don't work out, if I don't like how it's going, I'll move him over there. But he started coming around. So as far as I'm concerned, Ridge did a good job. You know what I'm saying? From where he was to where he is now, to me, I don't have a problem with Ridge, right? But so when I asked the other brother, I said, I took this one brother to the government hospital, Ridge, and he's okay now. So, he's getting better. So do you want to go to Ridge or do you want to go to this private hospital in Airport? So he said, I'll go to the private hospital. So I went with him and took him over there. And they tested him. He doesn't have malaria. Don't know what it is. They ended up not giving them a COVID test. This is what I'm telling y'all about. These people, maybe the COVID numbers are low over here because they're not really testing people. Oh, let me go back to Ridge. Over there, it was a bunch of old people on oxygen, struggling to breathe at Ridge too. So I saw a bunch of old people at Ridge. Well, I'm saying elderly people who couldn't breathe at Ridge, and I saw a bunch of elderly people at 37 who couldn't breathe everywhere. Everybody's on oxygen. So that made me, I'm like, man, let me, you know me, I automatically started thinking COVID. And people, they can't, I'm talking about like struggling to breathe. Even I'm doing it too fast. It's more like this. That's how they be breathing. Like they can't get enough oxygen. They can't catch their air. So it's horrible. It was a horrible scene. Horrible. So it shook me up. And what shook me up also, I got to see firsthand how the hospital, there's a stark difference in the quality of care you're going to get depending on how much money you have. That's what I want to tell you. There are hospitals here that are up to the standard that you're used to, but they're private hospitals and you have to pay. When you get to a hospital, the first thing they're going to do, you got to register first, and there's a registration fee. To even be seen, to be looked at. I don't care if it's an emergency. And this is why I go back to, it's important to have, I was telling y'all, like it was Sankofa, we want to have adopted families. You have family members, because I see the importance of, like when I injured myself, my husband's people were with me. They took me to the hospital. I didn't have to do anything because somebody, it's not like where we are in the States where when you get to the hospital and you in dire straits, that they just start working on you immediately and we'll figure out all the other stuff. Like, no, these people, you got to come with some money straight out the gate. Okay, when somebody breaks, so if you can't get up and walk over to the counter to pay that registration fee, somebody needs to be able to do that. So that's one of the things that I saw. You need somebody with you. You need somebody with you. You need somebody over here that can be accountable for your whereabouts, can be checking up on you, make sure you okay. To no, we don't have chemtrails. No, no, nothing like that. So because when in a situation that involves medical emergencies where you can't do something for yourself, you cannot come over here and talk about being in isolation and you're not gonna mess with nobody and you're not gonna get close to nobody. Don't do that. That's one of the things that I noticed that you have to have, because imagine if I had cut myself in the way that I did, down to the bone, the way that I did, and I couldn't even walk. Who would have gone to the cashier's counter to pay my fees so that they would start treating me? Somebody has to do that. When they say they're gonna come, they come and they take your blood. Guess you have to. Somebody got to be with you to take that blood work to the lab. The nurses don't take your blood work to the lab. You do. You or somebody with you got to take your blood work to the lab. You or somebody with you got to go get your lab results from the lab and bring them back so the doctor can see them. You do. You or somebody with you. So imagine if you don't have anybody. That's one of the things that I noticed. Like, don't be over here and don't have nobody that can be accountable for you and your whereabouts and how you doing. You know, just like since I've hurt my leg, one of his cousins messages me every day about this damn leg. Every day, every day, every day. If ask me, what do I need? Do I need anything? Do you need me to come? What? People came, they brought me fruit. People are accountable for me and my well-being, and me, and asking about the kids. Do the kids need anything? Because at first I couldn't even walk. I really couldn't. So going to the hospital in an emergency situation, you need somebody with you, and that is one of the differences that I saw. You need somebody. And not having, and Asar said it's crazy and scary. Yeah. I did see like a lot of the private hospitals have their own ambulances, but hell, say that, and I believe you can have like a health insurance with the private hospital, so they will come and get you something like that. You can set that up with them. But your health care, I'm saying all that to say this. Have a health care plan. Have a health care plan. Have people that's checking on you regular over here. Not all the way from the States, because just like that brother, that situation, if I had left that brother over at that first hospital, he probably would not be here. Honestly, I'm telling you the truth. And he says the same thing. And that's why I put that he posted that on his Facebook page this morning, saying, "Thank you, sister. Yeah, I love you, and I thank you for my life." Because literally, if I had left that brother there, it would be a completely different story we'd be talking about right now. So there's some good news out of this, and there's some things that you should just be aware of. I'm not trying to scare you away from gun. I'm not scared away from gun. But now I'm putting together a health plan for myself and my children. That's what I'm doing. Everybody gonna know exactly where everybody need to go in case of an emergency situation for treatment. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all straight up, I'm gonna be going somewhere like Lister or one of those private hospitals, because that other shit I saw was crazy. Crazy. It was crazy. And y'all need to know about it because y'all need to be prepared and because you need to have a health plan. Get over here, start checking out hospitals. And for those of you who are going, moving far out into places, you need to be trying to find out go and see the healthcare facilities around you. Make that a priority. If you are in a community of people and y'all building some land, building something on some land together, one of the things all y'all need to come together and invest in y'all community is a healthcare clinic, and it needs to be equipped to deal with emergencies. No, souls of the ancestors. No, I think it's like a just flat fee. It wasn't expensive. The registration fee, I think at Ridge, it was like 200 and something Ghana CDs. But what if you don't have that on you? You understand what I'm saying? What if you don't have it's like if it's an emergency, say you outside, something happens or you get in a car accident, you just literally don't have that on you. My point is this: you literally need to have somebody on the ground that's going to be looking out for you, your whereabouts, your well-being, checking on you, how you doing. If they haven't heard from you in a couple of days, they go trying to figure out where you are. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the reasons why I was saying that we wanted it within the Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program, adopted families, so that you can have that type of support, because you just never know when something might happen. You never know. We hope nothing ever happens. This brother was here, and outside of his fiance, who's Nigerian, who doesn't know really anything about Ghana, and that, all he had was me. His whole family is in the United States. You understand? So I'm just thankful to the ancestors that our dear brother is okay. He's fine. He's come on back around. I feel very, positive that he'll be, once they get all that pneumonia cleared out of his chest, he'll be coming on back to the house. I told the fiance to bring him where I am, so because I have a lot of herbs and things, I want to make sure he's perfectly well before I get him out of my sights completely. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm telling y'all, that shit scared me. I was like, I do not want to be the one calling this man's family back home, telling them some shit. You understand what I'm saying? So, but he's fine. He's fine. And I guess the most important thing I want to say, you pay for everything. This is the thing. So it's not like you get a bill. Everything is as you go. So when you get to the hospital, you got to pay the registration. Then say you got to pay for your labs if there's some lab work. That's paid right then. If the doctor order pharmaceuticals, somebody got to go to the pharmacy, like that stuff I told you that they had in his IV. So the girlfriend had to go to the pharmacy, buy those drugs, then bring it back, and then they, hook it up to the IV and everything. You pay for everything as you go. So this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's not the same type of system that we're used to in the United States. Okay. This brother said Luca Health is another private one. Okay, I'm not familiar with Luca, but I'll look into it. I'll definitely look into it. Right now, Lister is at the top of my list. That place, I walked in there, I'm talking about, I walked up in there like, they open, how when the space when you walk in the front of the doors and the doors just open up and a bunch of cold air just hit you, and the facility was not, it looked just like a hospital, like what we're accustomed to looking at, going to, and I was like, okay, now this is a hospital, and that brother that I took the list of, we still don't really know what his test came back negative for malaria, came back negative for a lot of shit, but they did not test him for COVID. They gave him IVs, give him some fluids and stuff. They kept him there till like 4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't stay that long, so because I left after a few hours with him at Lister, but he was in a much better condition than the other brother. So he could breathe, but he was, he gets tired every few steps, but he could breathe. So after I got him over there and, got him seen, checked in and stuff like that, it came down to just waiting on his blood work to come back and all that. So I said, okay, I have to go to the other hospital and check on the other brother. So I left that hospital, went to the other hospital. So that's what I was doing. But don't come over here with no money and can't go to the hospital. That's what I'm talking about. They got good hospitals over here, but you need to have healthcare money. You need to have a budget for healthcare, for emergency. I guess that's what I want y'all to know. I want y'all to know the difference in how things work so that you can be prepared, so that you don't get caught slipping. And because I saw all these people, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I already do this anyway, but I went to the herbalist and got me some more herbs because that shit, everything I saw shook me. It shook me. I ain't gonna lie. So I get up every morning. I peel one of these fresh. I eat a whole pineapple every day. Because this has something in it that clears inflammation out of your lungs. Look it up. So every day I cut this off, I peel it, and I take this and I boil it along with, I eat an orange every day. And I take this skin and I boil it with the pineapple. And if I have mango that morning, I eat mango a lot too. I'll take the skin, put all that in a pot and boil it and make a tea. That's what the herbalist told me to do, even when I was back in the States. And that's what I do. And my daughter had a cough. She had a cough. She was coughing. I don't know what the cause of it was, but it was at the same time I lost my sense of smell and taste. I wasn't coughing, but I lost my smell and taste. She was coughing. So I started giving her the tea in the morning and the night with this neem. I don't know if y'all can see it. This is crushed neem into a powder. And the herbalist got some other herbs in there. It's his special blend, so he don't tell you what it is, but it's neem with some other herbs. And with the tea that I make from the skin of the fruit, I add a teaspoon of this neem powder. And I was making her drink it morning and night. In like 3-4 days, her cough went away. She had been coughing for weeks. But giving her that every day, morning and night, she stopped coughing. I have some other things that I take. I went and I got from him. And this is for a lot of things like blood pressure, circulation, all type of just keeping you clean out. I got some stuff to keep my kidneys clean. Because I'm not playing this I was shook. Do y'all understand? I was shook. I don't know if y'all understand how shook I was. I put on a good face for the brother and his girlfriend because she broke down. She broke down when we got to Ridge. She broke down and I had to, get her. I'm like, look, because she's still trying to get over whatever it is because she had it. So, but she was able to recover. And I personally think that she recovered and didn't get as sick as he did because she's been in Africa and her diet, and she's been out in the sun. So she's got vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? She got high levels of vitamin D. So I think her body was just able to fight more than he is coming from the States. That's personally what I think, because as she was getting better, he was getting worse. He came, he gave whatever it is to her. She got sick. They both were sick at the same time, but she started improving without medical intervention, and he didn't. He just kept going down. So I have more herbs. I'm just showing y'all some. I'm not playing. So absent me an injury, I'm not trying to go to no hospital. None. Guys, woo, the shit I saw blew my mind. And You know, on normal circumstances, I don't give a damn about no Lebanese. But I felt compassion. I felt bad for that lady. And the way they had to put her on the ground outside and just no sense of privacy, and the whole everybody looking at her. You know, her skirt was, you know, she raised up, and you know what I'm saying? And she laid out on the ground, passed out. They doing chest compressions. This is traumatic. You got all these other people sitting there that can't breathe, and this is what they have to see. Can you imagine? Gonna gotta do better. Have your health care plan. That's what I'm saying. All of y'all, listen. If you somewhere outside of Accra in these small places, start thinking about what you're gonna do for your healthcare plan. Healthcare plan. Start looking into what facilities are there. Everything. You know what I'm saying? And if it ain't nothing there, get with the people in your community, and y'all need to build one. Because if you're gonna be living there, you ain't gonna be able to make it 2-3 hours sometimes all the way back to Accra. You understand what I'm saying? Or however far you living from Accra. And I don't know what the situation is like in any other country in Africa, but I don't know what it's like outside of Accra, but this is the capital. And what I saw in the capital is indicative of anything. I definitely don't want to get in no accident or get injured outside of Accra. At least I know if I'm in Accra, I can get to one of these private hospitals. You understand what I'm saying? And get something done, something, you know, at standard. We as African people, particularly in America, you know, we don't get the same medical treatment as white people in the United States unless you have money anyway. But this that I saw, this was crazy. This was crazy. So I'm going to recommend Lister, Lister. They did, like I said, get a brother some IVs and stuff. So by the time he got back here at 4, it was like 4:30 this morning, he was feeling better. He looked better. But I told him just go on. So he's been upstairs there resting since he got back. I did give him some fruit to eat this morning, and I'll go check on him and see if I can see if I can get him to eat some soup or something like that, put something on his stomach. But this is what's going on over here. Anyway, I just wanted to tell y'all about that. I need y'all to make healthcare. Yeah, getting your land is important, building your house is important, but start thinking about your healthcare. That's the top of your top list of things that you need to be focused on if you're gonna be coming over here. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. And don't just be in a situation where you're taken to any random place that you haven't investigated or checked out or made arrangements. These private hospitals, they have arrangements you can make. Like I said, I've seen some of them got ambulances and everything. So you can get with them and make prearrange something, some type of insurance or whatever, so that when something ever happens, you know where you're gonna go. You know, get you a doctor, a physician when you get here, and so you know who's gonna be seeing you, who's gonna be treating you, all of that stuff. So anyway, that's it. I hope y'all found this information useful. I have to get ready to go because Exodus Radio is getting ready to start in about 6 minutes. And I have to go over there and get ready for that. So with that being said, family, y'all have a good afternoon. And take care of yourselves. Be safe. Man, look, it's best to get the body strong with everything you need so that if you do encounter something, you can fight it on off anyway. That's what you need to do. Okay. So, Fran, Exodus Radio, if you go to RJ's YouTube channel, it's going to be RJ Mighty, RJ Mighty, MAHDI. That's his YouTube channel, or you can see it on the Facebook page, Africa Day 2020. And so let me get ready to go, guys, so I can get ready for that. Y'all take care. I love you all. Peace and blessings. Stay safe. Stay safe out here in these coronavirus streets. I'm telling you. And I just want to say again, it's very interesting. Outside of people who come in, the only people I saw in the hospital struggling to breathe and on oxygen were the elderly Ghanaians, not the young people. But I imagine the elderly people got this stuff from the young people. That's what I'm mad at. The younger people are recuperating or probably asymptomatic, don't even know they got something. But the elderly people are not faring well at all. And I saw this with my own two eyes. And I'm thinking the numbers are low because they're not testing people. You got to pay for the test. The test is anywhere from 200. So imagine you got to pay for your registration. You know, that's 200 and some CDs. So then you got to pay for all your drugs. You got to pay for your lab work. Then if you want a COVID test, that's between another 250, 300 Ghana CDs. So I'm pretty sure a lot of these people just not getting tested. So we don't really know. Now that makes me, we don't really know what the numbers are, because I didn't see anybody get tested. Okay. All right. Y'all take care. Let me go on over here to Exodus Radio. All right. Love y'all. Peace, family. Stay safe. Black power.